Hello, everybody, and welcome to the series finale of the Jeff Gordon Drive for Five series. There, you see the final four grid on your screen today. Like I said, the final episode of this 10-week journey to try and get Jeff Gordon his fifth NASCAR Cup Series championship. And we started off with qualifying with a 32.274, and we go P11 with Jeff Gordon here in Homestead, Miami. We've got one win in this series, and that was at Martinsville. And today we have a chance to get maybe to a track that I've never won at in NASCAR Heat 4. I don't even think I won here in NASCAR Heat 3, but certainly Homestead is my favorite track in NASCAR, so hopefully we can get our first win here today at Miami. But obviously, Jeff Gordon going up against three other contenders: Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., and Brad Keselowski. Those are the three drivers we have to beat, obviously, to win the championship. We don't necessarily have to win the race, but we just need to beat those three drivers. Now, as the green flag is out, the series finale at Homestead, Miami is underway here for the Jeff Gordon Drive for Five series as we head down towards turns one behind Clint Boyer and our Hendrick Motorsports teammate of Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car, who's looking, obviously, for title number 8. He is now, as we came through the center of the corner. Obviously, you see a bit of a lighting change here, as that still has not been fixed and probably won't be fixed in NASCAR Heat 4, I don't think. Now, as we went down this back straightaway into turns 3, trying to get up the inside of Clint Boyer, but playing it a little bit cautious there on the entrance. The car felt really tight on the entrance and through the center of the corner, and that was kind of annoying, and I kind of had to deal with that throughout the whole race. Now is actually Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., half of the final four are behind us outside of the top 10 right now, as they didn't really seem to have any speed right now. So we continued through now towards the end of lap 2, going 3 wide up between Stenhouse and Johnson, who had gotten to the inside. He had gotten clear of us on the inside. Now as we exit turn 4 up in P7, going down this front straightaway, but we had a ton of momentum down this front straightaway that we would be able to breeze right on past the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson as we went down into turns 1. So we would continue our climb here now as we came to on lap 7. Actually, a caution would come out here on lap 7 in the stage. So obviously that would set up for a restart, as it was Denny Hamlin bringing out the yellow. So we get right back into the action here. The green flag is back out here now with just 10 laps to go in this first and opening stage. Obviously, stage 1 and 2 don't matter at all for us or anyone in the final 4, thankfully. So we can go finish 40th in stage 1 and 2 if we want. It really wouldn't change anything now, as Joey Logano, though, leads the way. We're up the inside of Kurt Busch. Now we're going to make it 3 wide with Eric Jones and Kurt Busch getting aggressive early on here in Homestead, Miami. There you see our next Final Four contender, Brad Keselowski. He leads the championship 4 at the moment as he battles for second place with Kevin Harvick, one of our career mode teammates now, as we come through the center of the corner. On the exit of turns 4, you see how tight the car would get, but we would be able to pass Kevin Harvick and fight up to P3 behind Keselowski, who is now putting the pressure on his Penske teammate of Joey Logano, as a caution would actually come out again late in stage 1 and force a late stage restart. As you see, a bit of a mixed strategy there among drivers. I decided I was actually going to come to the pit lane and see what we could do, as Keselowski stays out, and that could be huge here. We're going to see how that affects everyone now, as we would come through out in P8, losing 5 spots on the pit lane. So Brad Keselowski is now leading the way as the green flag is back out, and we are underway. Joey Logano obviously came into the pit lane. He was leading the race at the time. Now, as it's just 3 laps to go here in stage 1, Keselowski leads the championship 4, but will that strategy call cost him? Now, as we come through, jumping up to that outside, passing McMurray, passing the 22, and as well passing the 43 of Bubba Wallace. So immediately back up inside the top 5 there, as I did not want to go to the bottom lane, so I kind of let off the throttle just a little bit there, just so I could stay up top, and we would come through, passing Keselowski on the final lap of the stage. As he had dropped, Logano had actually been able to maneuver his way past me and past everybody. So we went down into turn 3 up the inside of Denny Hamlin at this point here through turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time here in stage 1. So now we come out of turns 4, the best of the final 4, as we come through to cross the line behind Kevin Harvick in P3 here for stage 1. So a very solid stage 1 result for us as we lead the final 4 at the end of 1. Can we lead it for the next 2? Now that's the big question, as we would once again have to come to the pit lane for 2 cans of fuel and 4 tires. So Keselowski didn't really lose anything, so the strategy didn't really affect him at all. So obviously we would come out here in P3 getting ready to start stage 2. Joey Logano is ready to lead the way here at the start of stage 2. He is joined alongside by Kevin Harvick on the front row as the green flag is out. Stage 2 is underway. Myself leading the final 4, Keselowski behind us. So can Jeff Gordon get championship number 5? Things are looking strong right now, as we're going to go very aggressive down into turns 1. We're going to make it 3 wide for the lead as Jeff Gordon with Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick. Harvick's out of it now. There's 3 wide for second. So we're side by side with the 22 Penske driver now as we exit turn 2 side by side down this back straightaway. Going to give him a little bit of a side draft as we head head down towards turns 3 to increase our chances of coming out of turns 3 and turns 4 with the lead now as we push up the track a little bit though through the center of the corner, and that allowed Brad Keselowski to get to our inside as he would clear us on the exit of turn 4. So Keselowski goes from 3rd to 1st now as we're still side by side with the 22 of Logano. Hamlin on my inside as we're actually 4 wide down into turns 1, so I had to be very careful there. As you saw the 20 of Jones, he took us 4 wide down into turns 1, so I decided I had to back out of it. I didn't want to risk crashing everybody there as we got sideways on the exit of turn 2, getting into the side of the 4 of Kevin Harvick, but thankfully we would keep things clean as we went down into turn 3, so we would continue battling with these guys, and then a few laps later the caution would actually come out and obviously force a restart here in Miami. So we get right back into the action here from P6 as the green flag is back out on lap 8 of 17 in the second stage. Brad Keselowski still out front here with Chris Buescher joining him on the front row as we go down into turns 1 behind Eric Jones in the 20 now as there's behind us we got the 9 of Chase Elliott and the 21 of Paul Menard, and on our inside we got the 1 car of Kurt Busch. We would continue following around these guys as we came through now on lap 9, going up between the 37, the 20, and the 1 as we're 4 wide in the middle again now as we make a little bit of contact with Eric Jones, but thankfully we come through both of those 4 wides in the middle without any issues now as we get up alongside Joey Logano as well as we went down into turn 3, but Logano, he would be able to pass Hamlin and stay ahead of me, and then we would pass Hamlin on lap 12 of 17 now in the second stage. So trying to run down the 22 of Logano and the 2 of Keselowski who came through now on lap 14 of 17. Logano had been battling for the lead with Keselowski, but the caution would come out here with a few laps left and end stage 2 a little bit early. This time Keselowski is the best of the final 4, but Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr., the other 2 drivers in the final 4, have been nowhere to be found this whole race. So it doesn't look like Kyle Busch and Truex are even going to be a part of this championship battle. Me and myself comes out alongside Keselowski as we get ready to start the 3rd and final stage. So we're both on the front row. I think it's easily going to come down between myself and Keselowski for this championship here. Now with about just under 30 laps to go here in Homestead, Miami, as we're side by side with the 2 car. Obviously, we kind of expect another caution or 2 to come out here in the final stage, so I'm not going to be super ultra aggressive at this point here in the final stages. Logano though gets to my inside as we go down this back straightaway, utilizing that draft the best I can as we go down into turn 3. Keselowski decides he's going to take my lane away, so I try to drop down 1 lane and get to his inside as Logano, he goes through on the bottom to take the lead. Logano has had a lot of speed today, and I think that he's going to kind of be a deciding factor if we can beat Brad Keselowski or not. Obviously, he is a Penske teammate of Brad Keselowski, so you would expect him to try and help his teammate of Keselowski get the victory here as we go up the inside once again of Keselowski, trying to take that 2nd position away and as well take the championship lead as we're side by side down the back straightaway towards turn 3. Logano, he's going to cover up the bottom as we drop down to that inside as well, nearly getting close to that back bumper of him, but Keselowski has the momentum on the exit of turn 4, and he would actually be able to get back past me, so we would kind of settle in behind Keselowski as this run went on. As we came through now on lap 44, you see Logano pulling away, but myself and Keselowski running pretty close together, but we have a ton of momentum down the front straightaway with 23 laps to go. We send it up the inside now as we go down into turns 1, and we're going to take the championship lead here in Homestead, Miami, putting Jeff Gordon as currently a 5-time NASCAR Cup Series champion. If he can hold on for another 20 laps or so now as Logano, he was obviously still leading, but we were starting to close the gap in on him as the run went on. Now as we would cross the line, this would be 20 to go once we hit the line, and as we came through now on lap 51, even closer to the back of Logano with that momentum working from the top, we slice to the inside of the 22 driver. We know Logano's not going to give us the easiest time as we're practically running away with the championship as we try to slide up in front of him, but not quite enough momentum or speed to get in front of that 22, so he fights back on the outside as we go down this back straightaway, side drafting the 22 with 16 laps to go here at Homestead, Miami. As we go down into turns 1, still side by side with Logano. He's a little bit higher, and we have the momentum now as we come through to clear Logano through turns 1 and turns 2, and at this point we're obviously just trying to drive away and hope for no cautions. As we came through though on lap 53, the caution would end up coming out. Logano had actually gotten to my inside, but that didn't really matter. The caution comes out, and then I'm like, okay, what do I do? 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires. Well, I decided to take 1 can and right side tires and hope that that would be the way to go here for the final pit stop. I also decided to make a very, very slight wedge adjustment. We would still come out P1 as we get ready to go green for potentially what could be the final restart here at Homestead, Miami. Joey Logano in P2, Keselowski and Busch are third and fourth. Keselowski wants to get to the inside of Logano as quickly as he can, and sure enough, he makes it happen as we go down into turns 1, and it looks like it's going to be myself and Keselowski, like I said earlier, dueling it out for this championship because Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. have been nowhere to be found throughout this whole race now, as we would lead the way down the back straightaway into turns 3. Obviously, I could run the bottom, but I felt so much more comfortable on the top lane, so obviously I'm going to stay up here as long as I can, and if it works, I'm going to stick up here, but Keselowski actually fights to my inside as we went down this front straightaway. He was trying to put on the pressure now as we hit just 10 laps to go here in Homestead, Miami. Once again, I'm staying up top. Keselowski, he drops to the bottom, and I don't get through the center of the corner the greatest, and Keselowski would actually take the lead here with the 10 laps to go. We would continue to follow him as we came through now at lap 64, still running right with Brad Keselowski as we came through turns 1 and turns 2, approaching just 3 to go at this point in the championship race. Gordon looking for championship number 5, Keselowski looking for championship number 2. We come to just 2 laps to go in the season at this point. Keselowski about 3 or 4 car lengths ahead as we come through turns 1 and turns 2, but we have an incredible run through the center of the corner, and we close up right to the back of the 2 and get to his outside as we exit turn 2. A lap and a half to go here in the championship race as we clear the 2 with Keselowski going down into turns 3. Just 1 lap we need to execute perfectly to get Jeff Gordon his 5th Cup Series championship, but Keselowski, he battles back to the inside as he is clear for the moment, but we got the momentum down this front straightaway. A little bit of a side draft now as the white flag is in the air here. Jeff Gordon and Keselowski battling it out one final time here in Miami. They've had their run-ins before in the past. 2014 at Texas Motor Speedway in the playoffs, a notable one. Now is Keselowski trying to fill a hole that wasn't there. Now there's a little bit of contact there with Gordon in the 2, but Jeff Gordon leads down the back straightaway into turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time. Championship number 5 is in the sight now as we come through turns 3 and out of turns 4. No mistakes made, and we are going to be able to hang on and get Jeff Gordon his 5th Cup Series championship. Jeff Gordon finally gets championship number 5 here in the Monster Energy Cup Series. Keselowski comes up just a little bit short, but so awesome to cap this series off with the main goal of championship. Obviously, like I said, I haven't ever won a race at Miami since NASCAR Heat 3 or NASCAR Heat 4, so I was a little bit concerned, but obviously, like I said, Miami's always been my favorite track, so I was very confident still, and we had to win this race to win the championship. Otherwise, Keselowski obviously would have been the lead driver. Chris Buescher actually up there in the top 3, so great result for him, but Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr. were never even in the picture, so they just did not do anything, unfortunately for them, in this race. It would have been epic to have all 4 of us battling it out, but no, it was just me and Keselowski battling for the championship this whole race. Now, as always, though, if you guys did enjoy this episode and the series, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. There is another mini-series on the way. I should mention that will be weekly like this. It's probably going to be the Road to Glory, which I'll explain a little bit later. But, yeah, like I said, thank you all for supporting this series. Hasn't been as popular as Career Mode, but I've still enjoyed doing it, so that will do it, though, for this one. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a great day.